What's up, guys? Imagine your AirPods can see you. That's right. Apple's next AirPods Pro just might include infrared camera that lets you control them just with moving your hands in the air. While that sounds futuristic and maybe a little wild, not everyone is sure that that is a good idea. Let's talk about what's going on. Bloomberg Mark Gurman says Apple is working on the next AirPods Pro, possibly called the AirPods Pro 4, even though the AirPods 3 just dropped in September. The new version can come with a new H3 audio chip, faster processing, and lower lag, and yes, infrared cameras built right into them. These cameras would be similar to the Face ID sensor and may allow gestures and waving your hands all around to answer a call without touching your AirPods or your phone. Analyst Minchi Ko thinks Apple is going to mass produce these by 2026, and that's just around the corner. Now, the idea of gesturing in the middle of the air sounds pretty dope, but let's be real. You might look like a crazy person waving your hands all over the place, trying to push invisible buttons while people are standing there saying, that dude looks crazy, you know? But there's potential here, for accessibility. Imagine controlling playback quality just with your hands, even Siri with subtle head movements or small gestures instead of reaching for your phone. That can make audio devices far more inclusive for people with mobility or even vision challenges. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about that AirPods Pro 3 because that's where some controversy has began. Tech tech writer Jason, and I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm just gonna skip over. Jason called them Apple's brand new best product of the year, but also one of the most divisive. Apple redesigned the fit by using data from over 10,000 ear scans and even created new foam infused silicone tips for these AirPods 3. Some users say that finally they stay in place. Other say they feel too tight and sound different. That's the paradox about earbuds. Comfort is both technical and personal. Then there is transparency mode, or what Apple calls next level transparency. It mixes outside sound with your music using microphones and computational audio, so it feels like you're not wearing your earbuds at all, except for some listeners. It doesn't. And they describe as tinny or artificial compared to earlier models. That shows how subjective sound really is. Apple algorithms may technically better, but our ears and brains decide what feels natural. Personally, I get that. As someone that is blind, I actually use a little bit of echolocation to navigate. So when I have my AirPods, especially in transparency mode, I have to take them out just to get a true sense of my surroundings. You know, that's why sometimes I switch back to my Ray-Ban Meta glasses. They have open air speakers that make it easier to for me to be aware of my surroundings. So adding cameras could be Apple's way of bridging that gap, giving us more hands-free control and having more awareness of what's around us. If those cameras can someday detect environments changes or interact with other devices intelligently, like that could be a game changer if they are able to interact with multiple different devices. That'd be pretty dope. You know what I mean? Next level stuff right there. Of course, not everyone's convinced. YouTuber John Whitaker joked that when air gestures may just be not necessarily needed, as BMW's hand gestures are not even thought about now. And you know me, I don't drive, but think about it. You put in technology in your car and it's not even being used, and some people don't even use it or know it's there. It's kind of like, I don't know, you know? But I guess they only played with it for 5 minutes and then forgot about it. You know, seems pretty cool to have gestures in your car. You know, no lie, no lie. You know, but he may be right. But Apple's track record shows that ideas that seem weird at first sometimes end up defining the industry. When you think about it, the AirPods story mirrors what Apple does best, taking something personal like how we hear the world and making it smarter. They're trying to merge hearing, sensing, and maybe soon even seeing all in one device. That's ambitious and, yeah, a little controversial because once your earbuds can see, that fades the line between audio gear and wearable computer. That's where the line gets blurry real fast. So, guys, what do you think? Would you wear AirPods with tiny cameras built in, or does that cross the line from cool to creepy? Let me know in the comments because Apple is not just making headphones, they are shaping how we see our surroundings, listen to our surroundings, and shape maybe even ourselves. That's the type of tech I love to talk about here on VoiceOver Pro. So if you're listening this to any social media, head to YouTube. That's where this channel's at, on my Facebook and all that good stuff. But let me know what you guys think about this whole AirPods controversy. Controversy.